I left the program. Here's a little background information about me. My name is Leon Ujawa. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in my 30s. I've been single now for about 3, 4 years. Never been married, and I don't have any kids. I worked a regular 9 to 5 job, making about 70 to 80K a year for the majority of my life. The hours were 10-hour shifts, sometimes 12-hour shifts, 5 days a week. And if I needed overtime, I would work maybe 6 or 7 days a week straight, which now, looking back, that was doing a lot for such a small reward. So not only did I leave my job, I left the program. A lot of people ask me, Leon, why did you leave everything behind? Why did you walk away from things that were so familiar? Why did you leave a stable routine for the unknown? But what they really should have been asking me is how? And the simple answer is this: I didn't leave my job or walk away from the world. I left the program. For a long time, I lived the way most of us are taught to live: wake up early, fight traffic, sit under artificial lights, count the hours, wait for weekends, and save for vacations. At first, I didn't realize how my subconscious had adapted to this system and everything was pretty good. But spiritually, something always felt off. In the back of my mind, I always felt like there has to be something more to this experience. By more, I didn't mean more money. I didn't mean more titles or materialistic things. So I started thinking, what does more feel like to me? And do I not have more because maybe I'm just not working hard enough? And eventually I started to feel drained and tired from always thinking about this. Then I realized that I wasn't tired because I was lazy. I was tired because I was living a life that didn't align with who I was or who I was becoming. That's when my spiritual journey began. It didn't begin in the church, and it didn't begin because of some crazy dramatic situation. My journey began in the quiet moments where I asked myself questions like, why does it seem like everyone is always in a rush? Who who am I doing all of this for? What is the objective purpose of all of this? And another really important question that I asked myself was, if my time is my most valuable resource, why am I trading most of it for things that I don't really love and enjoy? I'm pretty sure everything doesn't exist to be stressed, miserable, and just, we're not supposed to just work, 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 and then that's it. Then I started to understand that the rat race isn't just about work, it's about conditioning. We are conditioned to believe that freedom and life gets better after or later down the line. But during the COVID pandemic, I realized later and after isn't always guaranteed. The rat race trains us to live in survival mode. One day I saw things clearly and I remember thinking, if I keep waiting, I might wake up at 60 and realize that I spent most of my best years preparing to start, preparing to live, and preparing to create a life that I was excited to wake up in instead of actually living. So I decided to try something different. I didn't have everything figured out. I didn't have the perfect plan, but I had ambition. Luckily, I've never been afraid to step out of my comfort zone, so becoming a digital nomad aligned perfectly with my lifestyle. I naturally prefer to create, so living a traditional life always seemed kind of boring and unfulfilling to me. I enjoy traveling and exploring different places and cultures because it reminds me of how vast the world truly is. I also like having conversations with people who see the world completely different than me. I left the program because I needed to know who I was without the influence of any family members, any friends, the media, or the environment I grew up in. So I knew that I needed to be able to make money online, but that's an entirely different video. When you leave the familiar, something really powerful happens. You actually start listening, not with your ears, but with your spirit. You listen to understand your thoughts instead of drowning them out with a familiar routine. You start to listen with your intuition. And as we age, our intuition fades. We are not the titles the world labels us as. Our authentic self is who we are when no one is watching. I began to understand that freedom isn't the absence of responsibility, it's the presence of having the choice to do the things that brings you joy and peace, and to be able to be whoever you want to be. So I'll end this video with 3 questions. If 2026 and your next 5 years were exactly the same as your previous 5 years, would you be satisfied with that? Are you motivated and excited when you wake up? Or do you feel exhausted and drained? And the last question is, are you truly having this experience as your most authentic self, or have you settled as a false version for comfort?